Hey, what's up, you guys? Today I have a review of the Seiko SNK793. This is a 37mm dressy Seiko 5 and it has a midnight blue dial. You know, most of the time it looks black or midnight blue, really, really dark navy. But when you're wearing it out and about, especially in the natural light when the sun hits it, you can see it's actually got a blue sunburst effect, like a very deep midnight blue sunburst effect in the middle of the dial. So it's a pretty fun piece, just to kind of wear out and about, and you get that flash of blue from time to time, but generally it kind of just looks dark. And this is a really good value. Really quick, I'm wearing the Seiko SARB 033, and you know, as these jump up in price, if you're just looking for like a daily wear dress watch that you can wear around the office, I don't think you can go wrong with a dressy Seiko 5. Now, you do have the full day and date, so it's not like a perfect dress watch, and some people might be bothered by that applied 5 on the Seiko 5 at the 12 o'clock position there. But once you get one of these on a leather strap, and like honestly on this watch, I think I like the hour indices better than on the SARB, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, I really don't think you can go wrong. This is, I think these are about $80 on Amazon. So let's go into the full review and then we can discuss if you should go with one of these. So starting with the case, this is 37mm case diameter, so great size. You know, the SARB is a 38mm, but if you have a 6 3/4 inch wrist, 38, 37, you really can't go wrong. And you can't really tell the difference when you're wearing these on the wrist. You can see here it's slightly smaller, but it's just going to look right at home on a 6 3/4 inch wrist, in my opinion. So then you have a pretty short 43mm lug to lug, and then you have a really great 18mm lug width, so you're going to have a lot of strap options. And then this watch is nice and thin. It's only 11mm thick. So it wears really small and wears really close to the wrist. If you're going to wear it with like a dress shirt, it'll slip right under. And there you can see that beautiful blue dial. So the case is high polish around the bezel, and then you have brushing along the side. It's well done. They actually did a decent job integrating the bracelet into the case. The brushing does match quite well, as you can see there. And then the bracelet has kind of the oyster style brush, and then the two polished pieces in the middle, and it goes to brush. My only complaint about these bracelets, these are stamped, like stamped press metal, I think it's called, and sizing these is really hard, at least for me. It's funny because I have a sizing video. I've gotten very confident with both pin and collars and pins, but for some reason, I have a lot of trouble sizing these. So the way it works is, I'll show you if I can see one. There you go. So that's what they look like. So the arrow is pointing towards, at the top of this, there's a piece of metal fitted inside the link that actually will pop out as you push against. You have to go inside that hole and then push against that little kind of piece with the ball, and that has to come all the way out of the watch. I have a heck of a time sizing these. So that is my major complaint about this bracelet. And then it's going to be jangly, jingly, and not really in the lovable way. Part of the reason it's jangly is because the pieces are light and they're just kind of loose. And then also you have, these are called hollow end links. You can see where the bracelet integrates with the watch and the spring bars in there. Sometimes this is a solid piece, which will make it a much tighter connection and less jangly, but these are hollow. So the whole watch is kind of jangly, but you can solve that really easily by putting it on a nice leather strap. But actually the bracelet's not bad. If it doesn't bother you, kind of feeling that jangle, then I think the bracelet's fine. It's passable if you can get it sized. I'm terrible at sizing these. But yeah, I think you kind of get what you get. You're kind of paying for the head of the watch, and the bracelet is a little bit of an afterthought, but the bracelet's not bad on this one. But where I really think they knocked it out of the park on this watch is the dial, that midnight blue dial, and then also the hour indices. They're faceted in such a way that they catch light really well. If you look at that 12 o'clock position, you can see that there's 3 sides to it. There's like a left side, a flat top, and a right side. It's kind of like a pyramid with the top cut off, and all the indices are like that. And they catch light very well. And then just going around the day, this watch is really legible. It catches light in a very appealing way, and I actually think I like it they're almost better than the indices on the SARB. The SARB indices catch light too, but they're just a different shape. They're kind of like a flat piece of metal with like a indentation down the middle. I don't know. I kind of wish it had these. I like these a lot better. I think they're a little bit better executed on the SARB, a little bit sharper lines, but they did a great job on this dial. And then what you have here too is the that white second hand is really legible. I'd like to see it go a little bit farther out. There's no chapter ring on this watch. The indices, the minute track is just applied onto the dial, which is nice. You don't have to worry about any of Seiko's dreaded alignment problems because it's just right there on the dial, so it lines up nicely with the markers. And then you have loom. The loom's okay. But what I've started to realize on these dress watches that have the loomed hands, it makes the hands really legible, which I do like. Kind of like if you're on an off angle, sometimes you can lose the hands if it's just stainless steel. But when they have those white markers, which is loom, it's readable, kind of no matter where the watch is facing. And that in combination with the white second hand just makes telling the time off this dial really easy. And then the indices are just catching light and everything just looks really good. And let's talk about the movement on this guy. So this guy is Seiko 5. Most Seiko 5s have the 7S26, which you do have in here. Some of them now have the 4R35. So the difference is the 7S26 is going to be the same beats per hour as the 4R35. It's 21,600. But you have, on this one, you have no hacking or hand winding. So the only way that the watch gets power is by being on your wrist. And the rotor kind of going back and forth. And you can just give it a shuffle, and that'll get it started. And as you wear it, the rotor will charge it out throughout the day. But yeah, no hacking or hand winding, so that might be a deal breaker for some people. Some people really like the hacking and hand winding. Hacking means you can stop the second hand, so you can kind of set it, get everything lined up really nice. It's a little bit trickier when you can't stop the second hand. You can back play the movement, which means you very gently spin the movement, the crown, the opposite direction of the time setting, and it will kind of stall out the second hand. But I don't really like to do that. And then hand winding, you obviously just can't like wind this up. So that is kind of the other side of the Seiko 5 is usually going to get that 7S26. But the price you're getting it for, and the 7S26 has been around forever, and it's a really, really reliable movement. They can go and go and go and go. So if you don't mind the no hacking, no hand winding, then this movement is perfectly fine in this watch, especially at this price point. So here it is on my 6 3/4 inch wrist, and you can see that 37mm case is a great size. The 43mm lug to lug, it's not overhanging the wrist in any way. And this is gonna slip really nicely under a shirt if you're wearing it as kind of a dressy piece, but it's just a good casual everyday piece too. So I'm gonna switch it out off this bracelet, and I'm going to put it onto the a nice, not a super nice, but just a leather strap I got off Amazon, just to kind of show you what it would look like on a leather. It will dress it way up. And there it is on a leather strap, you guys. This is just an 18mm kind of plain leather strap. So you can see it kind of changes the whole character of the watch, putting it on that leather, dresses it up. This is black. I think the right choice on a watch with a blue dial like this is actually a brown strap. But I did do black, kind of not thinking about it. I generally won't wear brown because I don't like to, I wear dress watches at work, and I don't like to have to match the brown shoes and brown belt all the time. I get kind of lazy. So I just put on black strap. But you can see that the strap does kind of dress it up, and it changes the character of the watch. And you could probably do like a brown, a dark brown, or a blue. But the black is fine, I think, that black and blue. And especially when you're not in this bright light, the dial of this watch kind of always looks black or navy. So I think the black strap works fine. So overall, I think this is it's a knockout Seiko 5. I mean, all the Seiko 5s I think are fun, especially when you can get them on strap options and they're not that expensive. If hand winding and hacking if you can live without those things, I think you have a wide universe of watches to explore. These Seiko 5s, and they come, more dressy, less dressy, more sporty, less sporty. They come in big sizes, little sizes. It's a really fun universe to explore. And this one in particular, I think they did a really good job on those indices. It's highly legible. The dial's a fun color. So I think if you're looking for a smaller 37mm dress watch, I want to say these are like $80 on Amazon or something like that. So you can't really go wrong there. And then you just kind of get a strap for it. you can see the strap just totally changes the look of the watch. Alright guys, I'll leave you with that. I'll do a quick loom shot and we'll wrap it there. And there you guys go. Not the brightest loom in the world, but you do have the pips kind of along behind the indices, and then the hands have some loom on there. So, readable, not your usual crazy SK, or like a SKX 007 loom or monster loom or anything like that, but usable loom. So there it is one more time, guys, on my 6 3/4 inch wrist with that nice 37mm case and 43mm lug to lug. So I'll leave it there. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I will be trying to release a video every week, so we'll see you next week.